What's going on, everybody? We just beat Liverpool 2-1 at home. Gotta say, I did not see that coming. I was saying to some friends at the pub that we don't know who's going to show up today. Is it going to be the champions or is it going to be the Beach Boys? And it looks like we got the Beach Boys. What are your thoughts?
I think that's disrespectful to Brian Wilson and the hardworking musicians of the Beach Boys. Uh, they were not committed today, but
No.
I as excited as I am about the win, yeah, no, they were obviously not entirely committed, and there's a bit of a worry that they were able to have it their way with so much of the ball, if not the end product, while being at half capacity.
Yeah.
That's a little concerning because we were huffing and puffing this entire game, our side there, like whereas they never really got out of second gear. So like it's great that we got the result, but like it was evident that um, one team was maybe a little more invested in getting a result than the other.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter, Gunner Blog posted a stat after the game. I believe we had 3 shots to their 23 all game.
Yeah, and that third was the Willock shot at the very end, which was
Mhm.
just very, very poor. And thankfully we didn't come to regret that it went wide. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess there's a couple of things that we should touch on here. Although honestly, I don't feel like there's a tremendous amount of depth to the performance we just saw. Uh, I honestly believe that we were pretty much handed a victory through a couple of pretty awful defensive errors on Liverpool's part. Um,
We're
what do
still
you?
very bad at creating chances is the thing. I mean, obviously
Oh
again,
yeah,
it's Liverpool, the big asterisk that hangs over every conversation about this game. Not just it's Liverpool, but it's Liverpool at this particular point in their season. But yeah, the fact that it was sort of handed to us by two defensive mistakes. On the one hand, you can say, "Oh, this team is pressing and they're forcing these mistakes. It's not a coincidence. It's not an accident that we keep getting and scoring goals like this." And that's entirely true. But on the other hand, we still are not exactly encouraging in terms of creating chances for ourselves. And you can only rely on forcing errors for so long.
yeah. I think it's important that we score goals from open play, and because of our will and ability to score goals, rather than someone else's inability to accomplish a task that they have in front of them. Um, One thing that I want to touch on again, and will sound a little bit like a broken record here, but I think it must be said, given the amount of shots, attempts Liverpool had. Emi Martinez is just outstanding.
He's really quite good. No, he's a very, very, very solid goalkeeper, who has really done nothing but impress in all of the games that he's played for us. I'm not at all worried about him. For the rest of this campaign. We have problems, but he's not it. He had that one moment in the first half where he kicked it directly at a Liverpool player and it
Hmm.
bounced back and almost into the net, and that was a bit frightening. But really, other than that one moment of madness, he's been great. And considering the types of moments of madness we've grown used to in that area of the pitch, it's they haven't really come back to haunt us.
And it's interesting because, I don't want to necessarily say that there's a tremendous amount of pressure on him because we're not necessarily in a position to win very much or accomplish much with the rest of the season, aside from the FA Cup, that is. Um, but it's amazing that he's been kind of been able to fill these shoes and really become somebody after, I think it's 10 years of service at the club, that the fans are really starting to warm to in a way that they never previously had.
I mean, there's pressure certainly in the extent that he's gotten his shot. He needs to stake his claim as the number one goalkeeper now, as good a chance as any he will have in his career with the
Absolutely.
long-term injury to Leno. But the other side of it is, I think everybody, all of the fans especially, have a measure of understanding for where this team is at, and particularly where the defenders in front of Martinez are at. he's had great moments, but he's also had not great defenders in front of him. So in instances where he does um, mess up and concede a goal, or just have a one frightening moment like he did today, you're able to be like, it's okay, it's fine. This is just one moment among many. He's playing with a eclectic collection of players in front of him. And so I think everyone's just managed their expectations well. No one's expecting him to have clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet, because with the players he has in front of him, that's impossible. What we're asking of him is to make important saves at key moments of the match, and he's doing that. Uh, it's good. It's encouraging.
You can't ask for much more, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, we saw the addition of Rob Holding to the squad today, and I think he had a really solid performance for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I wanted to touch on our defense for a second, because this was a game that I think, as you were saying earlier, Liverpool firing kind of at 50% still caused us a tremendous amount of trouble. But they kind of handled everything pretty well. And given our history recently, I wasn't expecting them to be able to clear the ball at all.
It's an interesting situation. I mean, we had a different defensive shape today, in addition to having Holding in there. And I'm curious to see how this will change the manager's thinking when it comes to the game against Manchester City at the weekend. Because, again, I think Holding probably has done enough to earn a spot in that game if he can handle that many games in a short period of time. I'd like to think he can. If he can't, we have bigger problems. But it'll be really interesting to see if we go for this sort of shape or the one that we've had over the previous few games. We'll see. I think whichever answer minimizes the number of Mustafi, Kolasinac, and Luis that's on the pitch. That's the system I would go for, whatever it may be.
So with that in mind, Saturday, the Man City FA Cup semifinal game is obviously the kind of be-all, end-all for us this season.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular way that you would like to see the team line up? I'm still of that mindset, although we haven't really seen it, and I don't think we will see it then. I would really, really love to see Aubameyang in the middle, Saka on the left, Pepe on the right, but
I mean, I don't think you're going to be getting
I don't think so either.
Lacazette out of the team right
Yeah.
now.
With form.
We were saying a couple of weeks ago, he got that goal, and those goals, that short-term burst of confidence. I don't think anyone's necessarily changed their mind about Lacazette's long-term future at Arsenal, but it has proven to be helpful at the very least.
And he was good today.
Yeah, I think him starting might be an option. I'd think if we have four at the back, we could have Saka in the midfield three, and then we can find a way to get Aubameyang, Lacazette, and probably Pepe on as well. I think that might be the way to do it. We're going to be on the back foot for a lot of this game. It's going to be similar to this, but with a team that potentially actually shows up to play for more than 15 minutes.
Well, I gotta say, I'm not looking forward to it very much.
No, me neither. I'm not either. But what if we win?
I would look forward to that. It's one of those situations. Well, I guess we'll leave it there for today, and on Saturday we'll have another one. Also, not looking forward to that, but hopefully we'll have something positive to talk about.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.